So it's about that time for yet another round of the dev server, but this time I'm going to be covering the 9th wave update, which is a very fitting name for an update given that we have a brand new rank for aircraft. But as always, before I do begin, please keep in mind this is the dev server, which means everything is going to be subject to change. No, I don't get to keep this 2.9 million golden eagles. Yes, I get to keep my SL because that's actually my SL. And there are certain things that you're not going to be seeing in this video that you may have seen in the official dev overview. As a creator, we don't really get access to absolutely everything that they do or that they get, which means there might be some missing things here. And I won't be going too far into detail for some newer cockpit models or maybe ordnance damage models. There's just way too much to cover, and I'd rather this not be a 40-minute long video unnecessarily. So again, please take everything with a gigantic grain of salt. Also, if you don't like some of these new additions or changes, let Gaijin know. Go to the forums, throw in some reports. They will listen to you. I've seen it happen. And maybe you can improve the game for when the update drops, which, let's be real here, we know it's going to be broken. It's always like that. But anyways, with all that being said, let's go ahead and do a quick transition into the very first nation, which is, of course, the Americans. All right, so let's see what's new for the Americans. Now, starting off, of course, is the M1296, a new striker with a gigantic turret. I'm not too sure how I feel about it. Sure, it's a crewless mechanism, but it is just, this is so wonky. I'm not against it, don't worry. Ugly does better for me in War Thunder, so you can definitely expect to find a video on this at some point. 9.7 so far. It gets the same dart as pretty much every other 30mm around this BR anyways. No missiles, which is going to be very interesting, but given that this will have, I assume it's going to, its pneumatic suspension, which isn't overly impressive, but impressive enough, I guess. This should be a sort of decent vehicle when it does drop, but we'll have to wait and see. And then next up, we have a new F-16C with, yes, the AIM-120 Deltas, or just AIM-120Ds. Not too shabby. It's not done yet in the game, so I can't really show this off. It's basically acting like a 120C, and that's pretty much it. So it's a bit of a placeholder right now. Also, I do apologize if my voice is dying. I've had a pretty rough week for the most part, and the voice just really isn't doing it for me today. But aside from that, ground pounding ordnance on this thing is as you would expect for every other F-16. You get GNSS guided bombs, you get I assume laser guided, which is fine, but as you can see, 120Cs, no B variants, which is kind of unfortunate, but I'm really hoping the Ds work like the Bs in terms of close-in capabilities, but I'll leave that to the professionals. And then up next, we have the Golden Eagle, which is not a new vehicle, of course, but it did get a crap ton of AIM-120Ds as well, which means this is going to be that much more of a formidable aircraft. I would well imagine other aircraft are also going to get them. They may have gotten it. I might be missing it. So let me know in the comments if I did. And then we have a boat, the USS Helm. Not really big on boats, but take that however you will. Now, up next, we have the Germans. Well, this one kind of came to me as a bit of a surprise. The, holy crap, how do you say that name? The Swattentriff? Oh my gosh, I can't say it, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna try, okay? I'll leave that to my German friends out there. But this looks like basically the CRV that we have in the game that we got previously for the British as part of the last major event. Let's see what it's got. Looks like a KF-41 turret pretty much put on top of this. Battle rating 10.7, which is I think a comfy BR for what it is. It does get, of course, the PMC 287s, which is not a bad dart for the most part, so I will accept that. And let me guess, only 4 missiles? Yup. I don't know, Gaijin has a really bad habit of only giving 4 missiles to these types of vehicles when others such as the Freccia get, what, 10? And a better gun overall and a better profile. I mean, it's just a better vehicle to begin with. Aside from that, not the most overly impressive vehicle, but it's one that I'm happy to see for the Germans as they have needed a proper high tier, top tier light tank with an autocannon that can actually move. And then of course we have some premiums, which by the way, I completely forgot to mention. Don't forget my discount link if you guys buy stuff in the War Thunder store. I want to get paid too. Cool. But what's this? 9.3, which isn't terrible for ARB. 9.0. Any ordnance, like good ordnance? I'm not too big on these bombs, but you know what? I've seen some players put them to very good use, and I do use them from time to time, but it is what it is. And then we have this. It is a new Puma. Sorry, I couldn't tell what it was. I didn't actually check it. I put it on the lineup and I said, we're going to the next, so on and so forth. Cool. Interesting. Next up, we have the ME210A. Not overly interesting for me, nor am I familiar with it, so take that as you will. And then we have, of course, a boat. Cool. More boats. Ooh, twin gun turrets in the front. Not too shabby. I actually play a little bit of naval, believe it or not. I haven't in a while, but I do on some very special occasions. But I guess that does it for the Germans. Up next is, of course, the Russians. So did anyone else expect this? I kind of didn't. It's basically a Tor's hull with a Panzer's turret. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I saw that it got itself a new missile. What is this? 7 kilometer, 40. I believe this is the one we pretty much, wait, no, this is the one we have in game currently. This is the new one. All right, 1,700 meters a second, 75G maximum overload. Holy crap. Are you serious? This is, let me see, Saklos. This is also Saklos. Wow, okay. You guys thought the Panzer was kind of OP, which in my opinion, the Panzer is better than most new anti-air systems that are radar-based fire and forget. This is going to put a lot of CAS players on the back foot, in my opinion. And then we have this, the TKB 1055, 40G overload, 7 kilometer range, not too quick. I'm curious. All right, I'll have to read more into this as we, wait, 100 meter arming fuse, 7 meter trigger radius. This one has, where's the trigger radius? Can't quite see in right here. Okay, probably kinetic is my guess. No, okay. I can't see the numbers on it right here. At least it's not done yet. So it might just be a placeholder for right now. But this is going to be interesting because now you have a smaller profile of a vehicle on a tracked chassis, which will make this thing much more dangerous, easier to hide, much more maneuverable. This is going to be interesting. And the next up, we have the MiG-29-912, which is a 12.0 aircraft. Let's see, R-60s. You get R-27Ts, ER missiles, which are pretty dangerous, to be honest. They're very mean, at least against me. No good ground pounding ordnance. Okay, this is also interesting. And then next up, we have the TK-126. I'm not going to go into detail about this, so take it as you see it here. Now, with all that done for the Russians, I was going to say the Germans, let's jump over to the British. All right, so it looks like my British mains out there are going to be eating very well in this update because you guys got yourself a brand new F-18. Though, did they need it? I don't know. Let me know in the comments, please. But let's see what we're getting ourselves into. Of course, they're getting a, you know, the new 120Ds, which is very nice. They get the same ordnance as other F-18 variants, so 65Es. You get the new walleyes. What else do you get here? I'm not really a big fan of these laser guided and some GPS guided bombs, so we won't go too far into that, of course. But also, it got access to this. It is a, let me go back to this real quick. It is some sort of Iris-T pod. It's not functional right now in the game. I don't know what this really is. Okay, it's probably a targeting pod for IR guided weapons. I get that, right? Be it air-to-air or air-to-ground, but I'm curious to see how this is going to function in the game. It's a drop pod, which, by the way, is I think it's kind of an expensive thing. You put an advanced tracking system on here attached to a disposable drop pod. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'd want that to fall into the hands of the enemy, but that's just me, unless the back end falls off or something. I don't know. I'm not going to question it too much for the most part. Aside from that, that's it for that brand new F-18. We also have some new arty pieces to my dirt mains out there who enjoy these types of things. Not really my area of enjoyment, but it's still funny nonetheless. A 155, which isn't outright terrible. Do we get proxies? We do. And then we also get, of course, the premium version that we saw in the trailer. Looks like a Vickers hull. It's kind of weird, right? Because if you look at it from the side of the back, it looks like an oversized early World War II British turret. I can't remember the name for it, not a Challenger. It's one of these vehicles, like a Cromwell or something, and it's just gigantic. It's very comical almost. So there's that to my dirt mains out there. And then we have the MTB 379, which is another torpedo boat. Not my area, of course, so we're not going to go too far into it. But that's it for the British, unfortunately. Let's jump over to the Japanese. Now this has me very interested, a new BTR, but it's part of the Thai segment in the Japanese tech tree. Now let's see what we're getting ourselves into. 30mm gun, which was kind of expected. Let's see, APDS rounds, the same ones you'll find pretty much on, well, the BMPT, the BMDs, etc. And the new R2 ATGM, not the fastest, 280 meters a second, which is interesting. 800mm penetration, though this is a tandem warhead, 5-kilometer engagement distance. Yeah, at 9.0, this thing is going to mostly be a menace, but we'll have to really wait and see. How many missiles? 6 missiles? And it has a spall liner. I mean, most of the BTRs do anyway, but this isn't outright terrible. Though the reverse rate is kind of terrible. That's a given with any sort of Russian design vehicle. Then we have the Honi 2. Listen, I'm not too big into the low tier content, but this is a very interesting looking derp gun, to say the least. And then we have a boat. Of course, more boats, not my area. I'll let you guys take that however you will. Another boat, and then we have an ME-210. Cool, another low-tier aircraft that I am not familiar with, but we do get a new helicopter. Yes, a brand new Apache, a premium for them. Let's see what it's got. You get Stinger missiles, AGM-114Ks. Not bad. All right, missile approach warning. That's a big thing. I doubt it's going to have it because it is 11.7, and it is a it's an Apache. Yep, no missile approach. Okay, cool. This should be very interesting. Again, don't forget my discount link if you guys decide to buy it. I'd appreciate it. Now, you gotta admit, Gaijin made this aircraft, the Chinese J-15, look really pretty in that teaser. I mean, it was spot on, in my opinion. I'm excited for this because this not only is a brand new aircraft for them with a brand new missile, but you also get some pretty good standoff ordnance. Not the best. I did add both of them to kind of show off what's going on. Now, of course, we're starting off with the PL-12A, which is kind of interesting. I thought we were going to be getting maybe the PL-15 at some point, but I feel like that's way too advanced of a missile to get right now. So this is definitely a good upgrade, though the PL-12 as it stands is a very scary missile to go against, at least in my opinion. This is a nice addition. And then we have the anti-ship missile, 170-kilometer lock range, IRCCM, though I wouldn't really trust this. Come on, let's be honest here. Anti-ship missiles don't generally work very well against tanks, though we'll have to wait and see if that's a different story for this. And then they get a KD-88 cruise missile, which looks very pretty, by the way. I mean, I really like the way it is. 120-kilometer lock range. It's basically, I think, the same stats as the Russian and the Venezuelan variant, so nothing new there. And then the PO-8s. That's it. Yeah, that's it for this aircraft. And then we have the 96B, which I am sorry to say I'm very disappointed to see as part of the premium tech tree. I know it's an advanced version of the existing one we have in the tech tree, but for a premium at 11.7, not really a big fan. Let's see. DTC 10125, you get the proxy round. I mean, what's there really to expect? Do you get a ballistic fire control system? You do. The auto tracker. Awesome. So am I interested in seeing this? Yes. Is it going to be the best thing ever? Maybe. 17 and going in reverse, which is very nice. That really remains to be seen whether or not it's worth your time to buy this thing. But let me know if you guys are getting it, please, in the comments. I don't think you guys understand how long I have been waiting to see this thing in the game. Ever since we got the first Centauro variants, I was wondering, when are we getting the Centauro 2? It's been years, and now we finally have it. The latest Centauro for them. Okay, maybe it's not the absolute latest, but we finally get a more modern one, right? DM53, which is going to be wild. This should have, I think, to my knowledge, an autoloader. Oh my God, there's a lot of spall liner on this thing. Hold up, I gotta clean this out. There we go, armor, fine. Let's see, blowout panel, which is gonna be finally interesting. And yeah, an auto-loading mechanism, so that whole 5-second aced crew is not going to matter too much. But this is pretty. This looks really cool. Gaijin, you guys cooked with the interior on this thing, especially with all of this spall liner. Awesome. Now let's see. Does it get a ballistic comp here? It does not. That's really 8 to 12 times sight. You kidding me, right? That's terrible. Commander sight? Yeah, of course. Please. Is that real? Is that true? Please don't let it be. But I'm going to be excited for this. I really am. And then we have a bunch of... I'm going to go through all this just really quick. 1.0, 1.3 premium, 2.3, let's see, another 2.3, another 2.3, 3.0, ME210, excuse me, a boat, which is not our strong suit, of course, another premium, and the FW190 F8, which I think is supposed to get the missiles? No, it doesn't. I think this is the one that does get it in the German tech tree, right? I completely forget. But yeah, this is the highlight for me. A brand new Centauro. I am super excited. So I guess that does it for them. Let's jump over to the French. You get a boat. That's it. I'm pretty sure there's a new Rafale coming in. I wasn't given access to it. As you can see right here, there's nothing I can do to acquire it. But that's it. Cool. Awesome. Sorry, guys. We're going over to the Swedish next. So it looks like Sweden is getting yet another Gripen, except that this one is very much different from the rest. It is a squadron vehicle, which is interesting. By the way, I do have some slots in my squadron. If you guys want to jump on in, you are more than welcome to do so. Now, this features the typical Forum RB99s, RB74s, of course, 74Ms. You get GPS, laser-guided bombs, Maverick missiles, the G variants, and the 75Ts, which you can use either, to be honest, a good effect. I prefer the G variants because HE is pretty okay, but lately, they've been kind of wonky, unfortunately. But there's one thing about this aircraft that you're just not seeing. Literally, it has no gun. Yeah, you have nothing. So no dogfight aside from missiles on this thing. Is this going to be worthwhile to grind? Sure, it's a free Gripen, and you don't have to grind a whole tech tree for it, but it's going to take you a couple of months. But it looks like Israel got themselves something pretty nice. The Itin P variant, which is, looks like a Namer Trishkin's turret on a wheeled chassis. I mean, this kind of looks like Doom almost when I look at it, right? Just like it's driving around the desert, just saying Doom, or has like the Doom soundtrack. I don't know why it comes to mind, but it does have access to, I believe, is the Iron Fist APS. Is it the same one found on the British Black Knight? That really remains to be seen. I was told it's not going to be similar to it in terms of protection against kinetic projectiles like darts at certain distances, but to have a wheeled vehicle with a working or a workable protection or APS, yeah, I'm excited to see it. But at 11.3 with is that it? Wait, there's no darts. I'm sure it's gonna get a dart at some point, but it's not done. Oh yeah, we can't even look at this, to be honest. It did say it had missiles. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I don't really know what to expect from this, but at 11.3 with its current capabilities is not really going to be ideal in my opinion. It kind of looks like a Merkava almost from the back. Interesting. And also we have the Spider, which I did want to show this off because they finally added the ER missile. Yeah, we had the Derby SR and the Python, but now they finally gave us the ER, which I'm excited for because let's be honest here, this anti-air system is kind of a piece of crap. I have not seen it in use in a very long time, so maybe this will change it up a little bit. Well, that really remains to be seen. Well, I guess that's going to do it for the technical overview of all the vehicles. Now, let's talk about some of the tidbits, shall we? Now, of course, the Panzer here is going to be the kind of the highlight for me right now because anti-air, as I said earlier, is very powerful. It is very hard to CAS nowadays, though it was made a bit easier once you figure out how to properly notch those radar-guided missiles, but in Iris-T, if you're unlucky, it's going to suck. And again, if you were fighting against a Panzer, they had a way better chance of taking you down versus all the aforementioned. But now again, we have this thing, which is something they didn't need. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. Gaijin, you didn't need to add this thing, all right? Russia, to this day, still has, in my opinion, some of the best anti-air systems in the game. Currently, I think that title kind of goes to the Germans with their Iris-T. But of course, no one can one-up the Russians in this game, so we had to have this. The J15 has me excited, and the Centauro too, but in truth, I'm not overly impressed with this update. I feel like there's more things that we're missing. I don't really know, but this isn't the most well-rounded update in my opinion, but I'm really hoping Gaijin has something up their sleeve to really impress me, because currently, as a GRB enjoyer, this is going to be a very lackluster update. But with all that being said, I'm curious to know what you guys think about many of these new additions. Is this something you're looking forward to? Are you going to enjoy this update? Am I being pessimistic with my reviews right now, I guess? Feel free to let me know in the comments, please. And as always, while you're swinging on down there, don't forget my discount link, my live streams over on Twitch, and more importantly, like and maybe subscribe. I don't say that very often, but it really does mean the world to me when you guys do that. But anyways, that's it. That's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed everything, and I'll definitely see you guys on the next one, as always.